but now it is much bigger. Does anybody have any idea what the mistake is? So what you got to do is you got to send me the full sentence without the mistake. So take out the mistake and send me the full sentence. We already got one answer. So anybody else have any ideas? 所以那一句话我刚刚发的那一句话有一个错误，你要找出那个错误，然后给我发正确的那一句话。My hometown used to be a little countryside, but now it is much bigger. 所以还只有一个回答。Axel， 你要给我发一个完整的一句话。A little 我不理解你的意思。OK， 还有一个回答。OK。大家的回答我都看了，然后还没有一个正确的，所以没有其他的想法吗？My hometown used to be a little countryside, but now it is much bigger. 还有5秒钟。3、2、1。Okay, 还有一个回答。Hometown was small and it was seen as a place in the country, but now it is much bigger. Okay, Wendy， 那个不错，我们不会那样说，但是你好像找出了那个错误。Yeah， 我觉得你就找出了那个错误。还有一些回答。Lilia, my hometown used to be a little countryside. My hometown used to be a little village. Julia, okay, Julia 找到了错误，然后发了一个就是完美的句子。所以 Julia 说的是 My hometown used to be a little village, but now it is much bigger. Exactly, a village. Okay. 所以我们为什么可以说 a village? My hometown used to be a village. 但是我们不可以说 my hometown used to be a countryside， 因为如果你去看中文英文词典，你会然后你查乡下或者农村 village、countryside 两个单词都会出现。答案就是 countryside 是一个不一样的概念，village 就是一个具体的地方。比如说，如果有300个人或者1000个人都住在同样的一个小的地方。那个可以做一个 a village， 但是英语没有 a countryside， 没有 a countryside 就是不可数，所以英语只有 the countryside， 然后 countryside 和 village 是两个不同的概念，因为 the countryside 不是一个具体的地方，没有 the countryside 没有什么边界，但是 a village 就是一个很具体的，有一些人有。一少数的人，比如说几百个人都住在同样的一个小的地方，那就是 a village。所以两个词都可以被翻译成中文的乡下或者农村，但是在英文是不一样的概念。然后我们从来没有 a countryside， 我们从来不可以说 a countryside， 我们只可以说 a village。So well done, Julia. So Julia, if you want to, you can be the first person to answer these part 1 questions. So in part 1 today, we're going to be talking about change. So Julia, if you want to, you can put up your hand now and I'll ask you these questions first. Okay.
John.
Hello, Julia.
Hello.
How did you know it was a village and not a countryside?
Yeah, it's a common mistake, and so that's why I know that countryside is a term denoting rural area.
Very good. That's right. Yeah, well done. I couldn't think of how to explain that properly, but you explained it better than I did. Yeah, well done. Okay, Julia. So your topic today is about change, right? So question number 1. Have you changed a lot since you were a child?
Yes, I think so. I have been changed a lot. When I was a child, I was a shy girl, but nowadays I could feel free to speak in public.
Okay. Is there anything you plan to change in the next year?
Yes, there is. I plan to change my job next year. I want to move to another company and maybe work the same work content but different company.
Why?
There are several reasons, and maybe the main reason is that I cannot bear the micromanagement of some manager.
Okay. Do you generally like changes?
Yes, in general I like changes because changes often means chances, and to make changes, I have I have more stuff to experience, and it would be spices to add spices to my life.
Okay. And the last question. Have there been many changes in your hometown in the last few years?
Yeah, actually, there have been many changes, and nowadays when I go back to my hometown, I even need a map to help myself avoid get lost. Sometimes I even used my cell phone to navigate, because if not, then I would get lost sometimes.
Okay. Well done, Julia. Okay. Good job. Okay, pretty good. Well done. So you answered those questions very fluently. I understood all your answers. It all made sense, and you used some good vocabulary in your answers. I want to highlight a word that you used in your answer to question 2 that was very good. Which is micromanagement. So Julia said that she wants to change her job because of the micromanagement of her boss or her bosses. So micromanagement is when, like, a boss tries to, when a boss is always every little thing that you do and is giving you a lot of pressure, putting a lot of pressure on you to do work in a certain way, and so it's usually seen as a bad thing. Micromanagement is usually a negative thing that people complain about, and workers don't really like micromanagement. So well done, Julia. You used that word very well. Let's see. Just in your answer to question 3, you used a good phrase, but you got one of the words wrong. So you said, I want something about to add spices to my life. Add spices to my life. So it's almost right, but it's not quite right. Any idea what's wrong there?
I've just learned about that word. Add spices. Sorry, I cannot remember.
No problem. So, does anybody else know? So Julia, she's using a good phrase, but she's just getting it a little bit wrong. One of the words in this phrase is wrong. So Julia said, she said, to add spices to my life, which is not quite right. Does anybody know what the correct expression is? So it is to add. So it should be to add spice to my life. So we can't say spices. We have to say spice, to add spice to my life. And Ruby had an idea as well. Ruby was saying spicy up my life. Almost, but that should be spice. Spice up my life. So there are 2 different expressions, and you both got slightly the wrong form of the word spice. So it should be to add spice to my life or to spice up my life. and they both mean basically the same thing, which is to make my life more fun, to make my life more enjoyable, something like that, to make my life more interesting even. So to add spice to my life or to spice up my life. And let's see, and then, so, yeah, do you have a question, Julia?
No more questions. I just want to say thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. All right, just one more thing before I let you go. So in your last answer, you said how your hometown has changed a lot, and you said when you go back there, you have to use a map. You said to help myself avoid get lost. So do you want to try that again?
Avoid getting
get lost.
Avoid getting lost.
Tell me the full sentence. Good. Okay. Yeah. To help myself avoid getting lost. Okay, great job, Julia. Thank you very much. Talk to you later, probably. Okay, cool. All right. Okay, so there we have our 4 questions for this topic about change. So if anybody else wants to try answering these 4 questions, just put up your hand now. And while I'm waiting, I'm gonna send the questions into the voice or into the text chat so you can see them. Okay, so we got 2 people. Anybody else wanna have a go? You got 5 seconds to decide if you wanna try this. 5, 4, 3, 2, time up. Okay. Right. So we'll go with Ruby. Ruby was the first one to put her hand up. And hello, Ruby.
Hi.
Cool. Okay. Right. Let's start. So, have you changed a lot since you were a child?
Yeah, I used to be very easy to angry as some tiny things, and it doesn't may fit me to be popular among other peers. So at that time I didn't have any friends, but now I have changed my personality a lot. So and now I have got a lot of friends.
Is there anything that you plan to change in the next year?
I guess it might be put on weight. I mean, I'm a little overweight now, but since I now have some more important things to prepare, like study and other things, so maybe next year I will get more free time to do exercise or like jogging or swimming, some other sport or some other exercise.
Do you generally like changes?
A little, I guess. And I used to be not very accustomed to changing. I mean, when my parents took me to another place to live, it may take time for me to adapt to the new style of living and the new circumstance. So, but I change a lot now. I can just adjust to the circumstance very well.
And have there been many changes in your hometown in the last few years?
Definitely. I mean, maybe 10 years before, the road in my hometown was quite narrow, so it always caused traffic jam at that time. But now, since the technology has rapidly developed, the road got much more wider now. So sometimes it's very comfortable to take a ride or maybe on bus right now.
Okay. Thanks, Ruby. Let's see. Okay. So some good things and some bad things in your answers there, Ruby. So let's see. In your answer to question 3, you used a good phrase. So you said, I think you said it was difficult for you to adapt to new circumstances. So that's a good phrase, to adapt to circumstances.
Yeah. But I use adjust after that. Maybe it's improper.
To adjust, use adjust. You can also say adjust to circumstances. They're both okay, actually. They're both okay. Adapt to circumstances, adjust to circumstances. They're both all right. Let's see. Now, in your second answer, I think there was a contradiction in your second answer. So the second question was, is there anything that you plan to change in the next year? And you said, it might be put on weight. It might be put on weight. And I don't think you meant put on weight.
Oh, put on weight means get fat.
Yeah, it means
Lose weight.
maybe not necessarily get fat, but yeah, you've got to become heavier.
Okay.
It's put on weight. So I think you meant the opposite of that, which is what?
Lose weight.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think you meant it might be to lose weight. To lose weight. Okay. Cool. Right. In your answer to question 1, you said, I used to be very easy to angry. I used to be very easy to angry. So that's not quite right.
To be angry.
So I used to what? I used to. Anybody else have an idea how to say this? So basically, she's trying to say, 我以前很容易生气. 我以前很容易生气. So any other ideas? If you got an idea how to say that, send us a message. So I used to what?
Intimate. Oh.
So nobody send me a full sentence. You got to send me a sentence. I tend to get angry easily. Okay, Axel, but it's used to. So it's used to. Okay, we got a few ideas now. I used to be angry easily. Well done, Coulson. Yeah, that's good. That's good. I used to be angry easily. That's pretty good. Wendy, I used to get annoyed easily. Almost, yeah. Angry and annoyed are kind of a little bit different, but pretty much. And Vera, I used to get angry easily. Well done, Vera. Exactly. Good. Very good. Okay. So that's what it should be, Ruby. I used to get angry easily, or I used to get angry very easily. Either one of those. Okay, so then just the last thing is just about your last answer. So you talked about how the roads, I think you said road, but I think you mean roads, different roads in your hometown have gotten wider, right? You said since technology have developed. I'm not sure it really has much to do with technology, maybe a little bit, but it's that's just a phrase that Chinese people use a bit too much when they speak English. Because in Chinese media and stuff, you've got phrases like 随着科技的发展, 随着经济的发展, and those phrases come up all the time. But in English, we don't talk about that so much. So you could say the roads have gotten wider in your hometown, but I don't think that has much to do with technology developing. I don't think those two things are really linked so much. Okay, right. Okay. So anyway, those are the main points. Thank you, Ruby. And right, we'll go on to we'll do one more student for this part 1.
Hi, John.
Hello.
It's Melissa.
Hi, what's your name again?
Melissa.
Cool.
Yep.
Cool. All right. Okay, Melissa. So have you changed a lot since you were a child?
No, I haven't changed a lot, but I have changed 1 or 2 things. The first change is I have become an independent lady, and that is because my second change, that is the place where I live. Since I got to university like several years ago, I moved to Wuhan for several years, or 4 years, and now I came back to my hometown.
Okay. Is there anything that you plan to change in the next year?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to move to another city and get a job, because I just graduated this year and I don't have a job yet, so I'm about to move to another big city.
Do you generally like changes?
Yes, I do. I love changes. Every time I went to a new city, I got so excited. I can't tell you why, but of course it will be some difficult, like the rooms where you live, the food you eat. But anyway, I love changes.
And have there been many changes in your hometown in the last few years?
Yeah, there have a lot of changes, right? In my hometown, the first is there is a lot of roads under the construction, and the roads became wider, and also the government have built a public service center where I am right now, and I'm so excited about that because there is a public library and a public cinema and gym and some other place, some other thing. Even though there's tiny, a small size, but that count.
Cool. Okay.
That's all.
Okay. Thank you, Melissa. Okay. Thank you. All right. Okay. Thank you. Let's see. So, okay, pretty good. Especially your first two answers were very good. So you barely made any mistakes at all in your first two answers. In the last two answers, there were a few mistakes, but still overall very good answers generally. And you spoke very fluently. You produced a lot of good sentences, a lot of sentences without errors, and a lot of vocabulary that would be commonly used by native speakers. So overall, very good. And let's see. So as I said, your first answer was very good. Almost no mistakes in it. Just one little logical point about. So the question was, have you changed a lot since you were a child? And I think you talked about two things. Do you remember what was the first thing you said?
The first thing is I have become a independent lady, girl, whatever.
Okay, right. And then the second thing was that you'd moved the place where you lived, right? You'd moved to a new city. Okay. So so a small little problem with the second one. So that's not really you changing as a person. And so this question is like more you and your personality. How you and your personality has changed.
Okay.
So you moving to another city, that's it's a change in your life, and it's an important change in your life, but it's not really you changing as a person. Unless you say something like, well, when I moved to Wuhan, I had to make a lot of new friends, so I became much more sociable, and I became much more outgoing. Those things, those are changes to you as a person. Whereas just moving to another city, it's not really your personality change. Yeah. So that was a small thing, but that was the only real problem with questions 1 or 2. Question 3, let's see. So you said you were talking about moving to a new place or something. You said you might have some difficulty.
Yeah.
So difficult is an adjective. Do you remember what the noun is?
Difficulties.
Good, very good. Well done.
Maybe I was
might have some
nervous.
difficulties. Good. I'm sure you were. Yeah. And then you said the rooms where you live, and so you said like some difficulties related to different things. For example, the rooms where you live. So not rooms. I don't think you'd say rooms.
The apartment.
Yeah, that would be better.
Okay.
Do you know what the difference is between an apartment and a room?
Apartment is like a building. A room is like 房间.
You're right. A room is like 房间, but it's a little bit different as well because in Chinese, 房间 can kind of have a couple of different meanings. It can be like 卧室, like a bedroom can be a 房间, but then a whole home can be a 房间 as well if you've got a small little apartment. So the difference is a room is just it can be like, for example, a bedroom, that's a room. A kitchen, that's a room. A bathroom, that's a room. They're all rooms, but you don't really live in a room exactly. You usually live in an apartment, and an apartment might have just one room. It might have 2 rooms. It might have 3 rooms. It might have 10 rooms. But the place where the place where it's your home, it's not just a building, because a building is like an apartment building. There might be like 200 apartments in an apartment building. There might be 100 apartments. There might be 20 apartments in an apartment building. So it's when we consider the place where we actually live, like we would say rent an apartment and buy an apartment and do all those things. And that apartment might have 1 room or 2 rooms or 5 rooms. We use say like live in an apartment, to live in an apartment. We wouldn't really say live in a room. We'd say live in an apartment.
Okay.
So it's like
Okay, got it.
An apartment is like a 房子. It's like a 房子. Whereas a room is just like 卧室 or 厨房 or 客厅. Those are all rooms. Okay, let's see, and then so just one small little grammar mistake in your third answer. You said, every time I went to a new city, I get excited. So that was a good sentence, but there was just one little grammar mistake in it.
Every time I went to a new city, I got excited. I'm sorry, I don't know.
So does anybody at home know what the problem is, what that sentence should be?
Go to?
Wendy, yeah, exactly. Go to. Thank you, Wendy. Because you're talking about generally. You're not just talking about the past.
Okay.
You're talking generally.
Yeah, generally.
And anyway, if you were talking about the past, it would be every time I went to a new city, I used to get excited. But you're not talking about the past, so it's every time I go to a new city, I get excited. Okay, cool. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, John.
Melissa, talk to you again. Good job. Okay, cool. All right. OK， 我们马上就要开始 Part 2， 但是我也要提醒大家，我们 Learn with John 最近发布了一个新的教材，就是考官约翰雅思口语 Part 2画本，在那个课程有全部就是9月份出版的25个口语 Part 2话题，然后全部我都录制了那些话题的回答。然后在那个课程里听我的那25个回答，然后也有文本，所以可以边听边读。所以现在就可以在这里，就在 cctalk 或者在我们微信公众号都可以买。然后价格99块钱，只要99块钱。OK， 所以我们现在就可以开始练习 Part 2。但是开始之前，我还有一个挑战。所以这就是一个我们今天要练习的 Part 2话题之一，就是 Describe a family you know and like a lot。所以我们马上就要开始练习的就是这个话题。但是开始练习之前，我要问大家一个问题，就是这个问题。所以这里就是5个不同的回答，然后不是所有的都是合适的，所以你们要看这5个不同学生会用来回答这个 Part 2话题的主意的 ideas， 然后看一下哪一些是合适的，哪一些是不合适的，所以 which of these is an appropriate which of these is an appropriate idea for your answer? Which of these is an appropriate idea for your answer? So the question, remember, is a family you know and like. So some of these, maybe just 1 or maybe 2 or 3 of these are appropriate, but some of them are not appropriate. So the first one is a happy family you saw once in a park. Is that okay? Is that okay? 所以如果你在口语考试 Part 2拿到这个话题，就是关于一个你喜欢的家庭的话题，你可不可以谈论一个你曾经在公园里看到过的一个家庭？可以谈论这个，还是你觉得那个话题不太合适？然后第二个就是 your mother's best friend's family. Your mother's best friend's family. 所以你觉得那个概念，那个举例就是合适的吗？如果你拿到这个话题，你可以谈论 可不可以谈论你妈的最好朋友的家庭？还是第三个，你觉得这个可以的 ？A family you saw on TV， 或者第四个，你自己的家庭，或者第五个 ，your favorite celebrities family， 就是你最关注的明星的家庭。所以不是所有这些 ideas 是合适的，也许只有一个，或者也许有两个，或者三个，是合适的，但是不是所有的。所以有一个人说 all right，no 不是，肯定不是全部都可以。有一个人说第四个不可以。So you got five different ideas, and I've listened to some students answer this topic on雅思，and I've heard students give all of these topics, and some of them, as I said, some of them are not right. So let's see. So Axel says 2, 3, and 5. So Axel thinks it's your mother's best friend's family, a family you saw on TV, and your favorite celebrity family. She thinks all of those are okay. Julia thinks everyone except your own family is okay. And somebody else thinks that 2 and 5, so they think your mother's best friend's family or your favorite celebrity's family are okay. So I'll give you guys, so a lot of people think that Lydia thinks 1, 2, 3, 5 are okay. So a lot of people think it's just you can't talk about your own family. Ruby thinks just number 2 is okay. Interesting. So I'll give you guys 5 more seconds to think about it. 4, 3, 2, 1. Time up. Okay, time up. Okay, we've got one correct answer, and that is Ruby. Well done, Ruby. Very clever. So Ruby is the only one who's right. So let's look again at the five ideas, and I'm going to explain why just one of them is right. So, and actually, we've got to look back at the topic again. Let's look back at the topic. So the topic is describe a family you know, not your own family. So that's helpful, not your own family, that you like a lot. Describe a family you know that you like a lot. The key words in this topic are you know. What does it mean when you say you know a person, or when you say you know a family in English? It means你认识那个人，那个人认识你，或者在这个情况，你认识那个家庭，那个家庭认识你。And so that's why only just one of those answers, one of those ideas is appropriate. And it's the one that Ruby said, number 2. So a happy family you saw once in a park, 你在公园里曾经一次看到过的看起来很快乐的家庭，一点都不合适。因为如果你只有一次看到那个家庭，你不真的know them. You don't know them. They don't know you. So it's not a family you know. The arga, your mother's best friend's family. You know your mother's best friend's family. Or it's likely that you know them. You spend time with them. You have a relationship with them. So have a relationship with them. 所以他们了解你，你了解他们，你对他们比较熟悉。所以就是一个你可以用来回答这个话题的回答。是一个合适的回答。A family you saw on TV? No, not suitable. You cannot and should not talk about a family you saw on TV. You don't know them. You just saw them on TV. 你不认识他们，他们肯定不认识你。所以 it's not a family you know. 很明显，那个话题就具体的说，你不能谈论 your own family. 所以第四个当然不可以。然后your favorite celebrity's family， 这个就是跟第三个一样。Your favorite celebrity's family, do you know them? No, you don't know them. They don't know you. 所以你可能看过他们，你可能在电视看过他们，但是你没有认识过他们，他们没有认识过你。所以不是一个 family you know， 就是 a family you saw, or a family you are aware of, or a family you know of。但是不是 a family you know， 所以，我如我所说，我今天在雅思课听到不同人回答这个话题，然后很多人都 说出的回答不合适。所以你们在今天的直播练习这个话题的话，不要犯这样的错误。OK。所以除了那个话题之外，我们还有一个，所以第二个我们今天要练习的话题就是 describe a time when you won a prize. Describe a time when you won a prize. Okay. So everybody can prepare for one of these topics. Everybody choose one of these two topics and take 1 minute time to prepare that topic, and then we'll practice each of those topics. So your time to prepare, let me get my phone. Okay. Right, your time to prepare starts now. 记得你只要准备这两个话题其中一个。Okay, 1 minute time to prepare is up. Time is up. So let's begin with the first topic, which is about that topic about a family that you know and like. So if you prepared for that topic, if you prepared for the topic about a family you know and like, you can put up your hand. 所以如果你准备了这个关于一个你认识的、你喜欢的家庭的那个话题的话，可以现在举手一下。没有人准备这个话题吗？哦，有一个，还有吗？3、2，有2个，1。Okay, time up. All right. Okay. And let's see. So we haven't heard from Alina yet, so we'll go to Alina. Hello, Alina.
Hello, John.
Hi. Okay, so you've done this one about a family you know and like, isn't that right?
Yes.
Cool. Okay. All right, Alina. Remember, you have 1 to 2 minutes for this, so don't worry if I stop you. I'll tell you when the time is up. Can you start speaking now, please?
Yeah. I'm going to talk about a family of my cousin. In their family, they're very they pay much attention on children's education. This is the first reason that I admire their family a lot, which means when my cousin was studying, they always turned down the voice of the television, and also they usually from Monday to Friday they don't watch TV and they only listen to the radio to protect my cousin's study. And secondly, I think my cousin's mom, which means my aunt, is very nice and patient, and she's not like my mom, and my mom always suddenly bursts into a surge of anger, but she just doesn't like that, and she's really peaceful with children, especially when you do something wrong, you won't get hit by her. That's why when I was young, I really want to be a child of their family rather than mine. That's it.
That's all. Okay. Thanks, Alina. All right, pretty good. So very fluent answer. you probably would have needed to talk for a bit longer because you stopped there after 1 minute 25 seconds. So remember, in part 2, always keep talking until the examiner says thank you. So that was just one little problem. You want to make that answer a little bit longer. But overall, some very good things in your answer, some very good sentences. Your answer was appropriate, so it was a good idea. It was an appropriate idea, what you talked about, and you explained it pretty clearly, and you gave a lot of details about the family, so you can understand what kind of family it is pretty clearly after listening to you talk. And you produced a lot of language in that 1 minute and 25 seconds. You weren't pausing. You were going from one sentence to the next sentence very fluently. So very good answer overall.
Thank you.
Let's see, and I want to highlight a good sentence that you said. As you said, I admire that family. I admire that family very much. That was a good sentence and a good use of the verb admire. Well done.
Thank you.
Let's see. So there are a couple of little vocabulary things that I need to tell you about. So the first one was about the TV. So you said they turned down the voice of the TV. So it's not the voice of the TV. Does anybody know, or maybe even you know, Elena? So it's not the voice of the TV.
Just turn down.
Only
turn down.
Really a person has a voice. Very good. Okay. Well done. Yeah, turn down the TV. And Ruby has a good idea as well. Turn
down the volume.
Yeah. Either one of those would be good. So either turn down the TV or turn down the volume of the TV. Either of those. Okay. And then another time you said, my cousin's mom, which is my aunt. But in English, your cousin's mom is not your aunt. Who is your aunt? Who is your aunt, Abina? Not your cousin's mom, but...
I'm not sure.
Oh wait, no, sorry. Wait a minute. Maybe I've confused myself. So your cousin's mom. Sorry, silly John. Your cousin's mom is your aunt. Your cousin's mom is your aunt. Yeah, cousin. So yeah, sorry about that. I was confused with that. Sorry, I confused myself. So let's see. There was one other thing. You said they pay much attention on child's education. They pay much attention on child's education. So it's not to pay attention on something. Not pay attention on something. Does anybody know what should it be? Pay attention. Yep, Ruby has got it again. Well done, Ruby. Very quick today. So yeah, pay attention to something. To pay attention to something.
Pay attention.
And the other thing is we can't say. But the other thing is we can't say they pay much attention to. We have to say they pay. I'm sure some other guys know because I've talked about this in other live classes. So
pay lots of attention.
Exactly, pay lots of attention. Pay lots of attention to. Or pay lots of, or pay a lot of attention to. Do you remember, Alina? Why can't we say pay much attention to? Do you remember why we can't say that? We can't say they pay much attention to. We have to say they pay lots of attention to. Maybe not. Okay, let me explain. So it's because, don't worry. Okay, it's because we can't really use much in simple positive sentences. Okay, we can only, or in general, we can only use much in negative sentences, like they don't pay much attention to. We can use much in questions. Do they pay much attention to? Or we can use much in emphasis sentences. They pay very much attention to, or they pay so much attention to. But in a simple positive sentence, most of it, or almost all the time, we shouldn't use much. We should use a lot of or lots of. Okay. So those are the only little corrections, pointers, Alina. So very well done. Very good job today. Great job. Okay, and I'm going to give Ruby a chance because she got the question right. So Ruby, how did you know that? How did you know the answer was number 2?
I have the class. You told me at that time the student just made a mistake to talk about
I
family of
Ruby
celebrity. You told about this.
OK， 所以 Ruby 知道这件事情的原因，就是他上我们 Learn with John 的小组口语课，所以Ruby 对雅思考试的理解很丰富，因为他上了我的课。OK，anyway， good job, Ruby. Good job getting that answer correct. So same question, same topic for you, Ruby. Tell us about family that you know and like. Can you start speaking now, please?
I'm going to talk about a family of my friends. I have known my friend for more than 7 years, but it's a pity that I haven't been to her family ever before. Maybe sometimes I have something to do or she has no free time. So last year, maybe in October, I finally got a time to pay a visit to her family, since she always told that there are 5 dogs at her family, at her house. It took me 17 minutes to get to her house. It's a double detached apartment, and when I arrived at her home, the first sound which welcomed me is the dogs. I mean, all the dogs just rushed into me and smiled at me, and after that, her mother, a very elegant woman, just went out to welcome me. My friend has 5 children in her family. I know it's a little bit weird, but since she was in a business family, their parents always trying to get a boy for their future career. So when I just stepped into her family to have a lunch together, I really enjoyed the comfortable atmosphere in her family. I mean, her father and her mother just had a really comfortable chat with each other, and her little brother was a little naughty, but he was really cute to smile at me and give me some food, and my friends also.
Thank you. Okay, well done, Ruby. Good job, very good. You kept going there. You gave a lot of information. I think you could have talked for more than 2 minutes. You talked for like 1 minute 40 before I stopped you. So well done. Good answer, good fluency, some good vocabulary in your answer. So overall, pretty good. I'd say probably level 6.5 answer, I would say, for that one. So let's see. A couple of little pointers. So the main point is this mistake that you made a couple of times. You said, I had never been to her family, and another time you said, I stepped into her family. When I stepped into her family, and the first time you said, I had never been to her family. Do you know why that's wrong? Why is that a mistake?
I had never been.
Sorry, Ruby. What were you saying? No, it's not that. It's not related to tenses. No, it's related to vocabulary.
Mm-hmm.
Does anybody know what's wrong with that? So Ruby said, I had never been to her family, and we can't really say I have never been to a family, or I have been to a family. Does anybody know what she should say, or what's wrong there? No. And Ruby, you have no idea?
Oh,
we've got some people with some ideas now. Yeah, exactly. I've never been to her house, or even better would probably be I had never been to her home. I'd never been to her home. So do you remember now, Ruby, or do you have any idea why? Why can we say I have been to her home, or I had never been to her home, but we can't say
I made the same mistake last time. You also just told me about this. I
really?
also said family.
Okay, so do you remember what did I tell you?
That family was about person, but the house is what exactly I step in.
Exactly. Yeah. Good. So the place, that's their home, or perhaps their house. Whereas the people, that's the family. So you can't go to a family. You can only go to somebody's home or somebody's house. Okay. So that was the biggest mistake. Just so be careful with that. And there was one, but kind of a logical mistake, in which you said, it took me 17 minutes to get to her home. to get to her house. I think. It took me 17 minutes. 17分钟. Is that what you meant?
17 minutes bus to go on a bus.
Yeah, but what? Okay. So I don't. So yeah, this is the logical problem, Ruby. How do you remember? So this was last October. This was a year ago. How do you remember that it took you 17 minutes
to
go there?
I want to say 30, but I just say, then I have to say 7, then I just say 17.
Okay. Right. Yeah, you probably should have just corrected yourself after you found that you made the original mistake. You probably should have corrected yourself, because yeah, nobody would, or it's very unlikely that somebody would say, oh, it took me 17 minutes, exactly 17 minutes to get there. Especially if they're talking about a year ago, because how would you remember how would you remember it exactly took you 17 minutes? So that was a bit of a logical problem with your answer. But yeah, so those are the main two things. But otherwise, a lot of good stuff in your answer, a lot of good ideas. As I said, probably overall, probably level 6.5 answer there. So well done, Ruby. Thank you very much. Okay. Let's see. And so I'm going to give. So Lydia is the only other person. So I'm going to give you a time to give us 1 minute.
Can you hear me?
1 minute of an answer, Lydia. And so, okay, I can. Yeah. So I'm gonna. So we don't have much time, so we'll give you 1 minute. So can you start?
Okay, today I'm going to tell you guys about my primary school classmate, and he was also my first male friend of my life, and literally we knew each other since we was 7 years old at primary school, and we were at the same class, and there were 5 members of his family, his grandparents and his parents, and he himself, and they lived near. They are my neighbor. I have to say, I really love his family, although we haven't contacted each other for several years. And first of the reason is that all of his family members are highly educated, and his grandparents once studied in United Kingdom, and his parents were both computer engineer, and so their families.
Okay. Thank you, Lydia. Okay, yeah. So we don't have much time, so I'm going to stop you a little bit earlier. But okay, so pretty good answer there. I think you set up your answer pretty well. I'm pretty sure you would have continued to give a fairly good answer. So again, pretty fluent, and some sentences that didn't have any errors. So some good sentences there. Let's see. So I'm just going to give you a couple of little pointers.
Okay.
So you said, so a small little thing. You said, they are my neighbor. They
were my neighbor. Sometimes.
Say that again. I didn't hear.
My neighborhood. My neighborhood. They were my neighborhood.
No, not your neighborhood. Neighborhood is a place. Neighborhood is a place.
They lived in my neighborhood.
No. Okay, so I'll tell you.
I forget it.
Stop. They were my neighbors.
Okay.
Yeah, they were my neighbors. Yeah, there was more than one of them. Okay. And then one more. You said first of the reason. First of the reason is.
First of all, I think that's better. But.
第一个原因就是。
The first reason is.
Good, well done, Lydia. Yes, exactly. Yeah, the first reason is the first reason I like their family is, or the first reason is that. Yeah, that's good. Okay, thanks, Lydia. Cool. Okay, right. So we're going to move on to the second topic now. So remember, our second topic was about a time you won a prize. Okay, so anybody who has prepared this topic, you can put up your hand now. I'll paste the topic back in. Okay, so anybody who wants to talk about a time that you won a prize, 现在就说一下. Okay. And I'll give you guys a few seconds to think about that. We've got a couple. All right, anybody else? 5 seconds. Time you want a prize? 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, time up, time up. All right, so I'm going to go to our first student here.
Hi, John.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, is that
Yeah,
Melissa
yeah,
again?
it is.
Okay, Melissa. Okay, cool. All right. So, all right, Melissa. So I'd like you to tell us about a time when you won a prize. Remember, you have 1 to 2 minutes for this. Don't worry if I stopped you. Can you start speaking now, please?
Okay, I'm going to talk about a prize that I won. That is a competition held by my university several years ago, but that was just a small size competition with like dozens or something classes and one class, and I decided to go to that competition for my class, and at the competition on that day, it was a long day for me. And the competition was held at the afternoon, 6 o'clock. And I totally forgot that. I bought my dinner and back to my dorm. And I just switching on my phone randomly, and it suddenly came to me that I have to go to this competition, and I already missed like 30 minutes, so I just ran to the competition, and fortunately they haven't finished yet, so they switched me to the last one, and that is a competition about address a speech. That not a hard one. So I came to there, grab a paper with the things that I prepared before, and and the interesting thing is I end up to win the third prize, and that just built my confidence a lot, because I always knew that my pronunciation in Chinese is quite good, and I am sure that I am the best one who addressed that speech. But as a punishment, they gave me the third one. Okay.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you. All right. Well done, Melissa. Well done. Okay. Pretty good answer. And so a logical answer so you won the third prize. You explained it very well. I've got one kind of maybe a logical, not a problem, but a query, let's say, about your answer. So, on the exam there is another topic which is describe a time when you forgot something, or something like that. Describe something that you forgot, or describe a time when you forgot something important, I think.
Yeah.
So my question is, are you thinking about doing this same answer or telling the same kind of story if you get that topic about a time when you forgot something? No. Okay.
No, I just prepared it right now.
Yeah. Okay, good. Okay. So I just be a little bit careful with your first minute of the answer, because in the first minute of the answer, you weren't really talking so much about the prize. I know you were setting up the story and you were giving the background of the story, but It seems like you're just talking about a time you forgot something, which is another topic.
I was just nervous because
she's doubling up topic.
I should have said what about this competition first, but I was nervous to say the things I forgot, blah blah blah, whatever.
Okay, don't worry. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So if you get this question in the exam, you can definitely tell that story. That's a good story. It's a very suitable answer. But I just say get to the part of the competition and the prize more quickly. So don't spend so much time talking about forgetting about when it took place.
Yeah.
Just get to that part a bit more quickly, and then it will be a very good answer. Let's see, a couple of corrections. So you said it was 1 people, 1 class. 1 people, 1 class. So I know what you mean there, but yeah, we can't quite say it like that.
Yeah, I don't know how to express that.
Okay, does anybody know? Anybody have an idea? So what would you say in Chinese? Would you say in Chinese? Would you say 每个班级一个人？
是的，一个班一个人。
一个班一个人。Okay, so how would you say that in English? Does anybody know? It's a bit complicated in English, actually. I'll give everybody one. Oh yeah, actually, Alina has a good idea. I wasn't even going to think about that.
One class per person.
But it's not one class per person. It should be the other way around. It should be one person per class.
One person per class.
One person per class.
Yeah.
One person would be good. And the way I was going to say it, yeah. So somebody has an idea there. And then the way I was going to say it is one person from each class. One person from each class. So one person per class. Like Christina has written. Or no, sorry, somebody else wrote that. Anyway, yeah, I can't remember who it was. One person per class, or one person from every class. Either of those would be it.
Okay, that's better.
Okay, let's see, and then so another time you said, I bought my dinner and back my dorm. I bought my dinner and back my dorm. So back is not a verb.
Get back, got back.
So remember, it's the so how would you say it, like 我回去回去So Ruby has the right idea and Alina has the right idea, but remember, it's the past. She's telling a story from the past. So it should be, I bought my dinner and I
got back. Went back. Yeah, went back.
Yes. Went back. Thank you, Alina. Okay. I got my dinner and I went back to my dorm. Okay. Okay, those are the main points. Thank you very much, and Melissa. Thank you. Okay. We've only got Ruby left, and Ruby's been talking more than I have in these classes recently, so I'm not going to let Ruby answer this second one. She already answered the first one. Sorry, Ruby. But does anybody else want to try this one? Anybody else want to try? If not, then what we're going to do is I'm going to play my answer. So let's see. The time when you want a prize. I'm just going to try and find it here on my phone. Okay, here it is. So this is my answer from the course that I've already talked about. So this course is 考官约翰 雅思口语 Part 2 话版. So as I said, in this course, there's like the whole 25 of the current Part 2 topics. If you're interested, you can get it. Oh no, where is it? Down here in the bottom corner in the little school bag icon. So here is the answer for this topic from that course. I'm going to talk about a prize that I won at a gym that I used to go to. So the gym that I used to go to used to give out a prize to one member every month, and they called the prize their member of the month. So one time I was the member of the month at that gym. So that month I went to the gym every day. So at that time I was extremely overweight. I'm still a little bit overweight, but at that time I was really very heavy. So I needed to lose a lot of weight. So I signed up to the gym, and for the first few months I went to the gym very regularly. I had a personal trainer, and I used to go and lift weights with my personal trainer a couple of times a week, usually 3 times a week. And then sometimes on the other days I would also go and do yoga classes or do some different exercise classes that they provided at the gym. The particular month that I won member of the month, I went to the gym every single day. So I had my 3 days with my personal trainer, and then on the other 4 days I went to the gym and did some other kinds of exercises or took part in some classes at the gym. I think the reasons, there were probably 3 reasons that I won the prize. For one thing, as I said, I went to the gym every day. For another thing, I lost a lot of weight that month. I probably lost about 20 pounds that month. And I think the third reason was because I was paying the gym for their personal trainer, and the gym really liked people to buy classes with their personal trainers because that's how the gym made a lot of their money. So I think those 3 reasons combined were why I won the particular prize. when I won the prize, I didn't feel very excited. It was a very simple thing. It was just a bag with the gym's logo on it, a t-shirt with the logo on it, some socks, and a couple of other small, simple things. So I didn't really feel very excited. I had my photo on the wall of the gym for a month, and I guess that was pretty cool. Okay, so that was my answer. Now you might be wondering, but so in that answer you heard that I said that at that time I was very overweight or something like that, and you might think, but John, you're not overweight at all. And I said, oh yeah, and I said I'm still somewhat overweight. And you might say, well, John, you're not overweight at all. And it's true, I'm not overweight. I'm in perfect health. When I recorded these answers, I kind of did it from the perspective of a Chinese person, so not just a Chinese person, of an IELTS candidate. So I was giving answers that were stories that a typical IELTS candidate might be able to use. So you might be able to use this kind of idea. And I wouldn't recommend that you absolutely use the exact same story and try to use every word from it. But you might have this kind of experience in your life, and if you have this kind of experience in your life, this might be something that you would be able to talk about. Okay, so a lot of these answers in the course, they're not exactly true experiences for my life. A lot of them are things that I've adjusted a little bit to make them more useful for Chinese candidates because there are some topics that they could possibly talk about. Whereas, for example, if I talked about lots of stuff related to like when I was growing up in Ireland and lots of my experiences in Ireland, it's not very useful to Chinese IELTS candidates because they would never have had those experiences. So learning to talk about those experiences wouldn't be that helpful. Okay, so let's move on to part 3 now. So let's see. So we've got the same 2 topics for part 3, and again, we're going to start with a little competition, a little quiz question. So here is another sentence, and again, this sentence has a kind of mistake. It's maybe not a mistake, but it's definitely something that native speakers would never say. So in this sentence, there's something that native speakers would almost never say. I want you guys to find a mistake and send me the sentence that native speakers would say. 所以这一句话就是 I often have dinner with my family members. 不是一个英语母语者会说的句子，所以你们要想一下英语母语人会怎么说，会怎么表达这个意思。Okay, we've already got a few answers. So somebody called Excited says, I often have dinner with my family. Lydia says, I often have dinner with my family. Alina says, I often have dinner with my family. Somebody else says, I often have dinner with my family. Wendy says, I often have dinner with my families. No, sorry, Wendy. Sorry, Wendy. Not with your families. And Julia says, I often have dinner with my family. So yeah, you guys are all right. So the correct answer is I often have dinner with my family. I often have dinner with my family. So so a lot of Chinese speakers of English have a tendency to use family members when they just mean family, and that's a bad habit. So like Melissa, for example, I didn't want to talk about it earlier, but you did use family members a couple of times in your answer when it would have been better to just say family, whatever it is. And I think, for example, you might have said there are 5 members or something, or 7 members in the family. So it's just say, it would be better to say there are 5 people. There are 5 people in the family. So native speakers, when we're talking about 我家人, 我的家庭, 他的家庭, 他们家里人, or whatever, we generally just say family. My family, your family, his family, her family. There's no need to say members. So we would almost never say members. But let me give you an example of when is a time when you could say members. And it's usually something that might appear in the news or in very formal English. You might hear a sentence like this: 3 members of the same family were arrested. 3 members of the same family were arrested. So 那个意思就是同样家庭的3个家庭成员被逮捕了，被警察逮捕了。Something like that. So there, you might hear it in the news or in certain situations, or sometimes if you're filling out a form at the airport or something like that, you might see the expression family members. But in conversational English and in everyday English, when we're talking about Bojaran, we would never say my family members. We would always say my family. Okay. And we would never say my families either. Not my families, just my family. Okay. All right. So let me see who was the first person who got that answer right. And so the first person was, it's very hard for me to control this. I think the first person was excited. Yeah, sorry, I can't scroll up. This chat box is really weird. It's really hard to control. So anyway, I think the first person was excited. So excited. If you want to answer these part 3 questions, just put up your hand, and I'll go to you first. But if you don't want to, then it's okay. Okay. So anyway, we're gonna start with part 3. So this is your chance to put up your hand. And okay, I see excited has already put up his or her hand. So okay, so excited, I'm going to ask you some questions about family life in general. So,
hey, John.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, cool, I can hear you. What's your name?
I'm Jason.
Oh, Jason. Hi, Jason. Okay, good. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So Jason is another one of the students from my childhood. Okay, Jason. So good job for getting that answer. All right. So part 3, all questions about family life. So Jason, in your country, who is usually the leader of the family? Is it usually the father or the mother?
Well, I so in my family. And to be honest, it's common fathers make the most money and make the most.
Sorry, Jason. Sorry, Jason. Hi, Jason. Sorry, I can't quite hear you. I think other people, I think people can't hear you at the moment, Jason.
Sorry.
I've turned on my camera, so I'm not sure if that helps or not. Probably not. So let's try the next question, Jason, and let's see what the sound is like. So the next question, is it common for grandparents to spend a lot of time looking after their grandchildren in your country?
Yeah. Certainly. Because in China, most parents are working parents. They don't have a lot of time looking after their own children. And in China, child care is very expensive. Most parents can't afford it. So they ask for their parents to look after grandsons.
And do you think that that's a good thing, that children spend so much time with their grandparents?
Not really. I think because grandparents are older and they don't like to go out. But children are active. Children like to go out, and children like to play outside. So I think that's not helpful for children's development.
Okay, good job, Jason. Thank you. I'd like to ask you some more questions, but the connection isn't perfect, so we better not do more questions. I couldn't really hear your first answer. But your second answer and your third answer were both very good. So I just want to highlight, first of all, one very good sentence that Jason said there. And he said most parents are working parents. Very good. So working parents just means basically parents who have jobs, parents who go to work. So that was a very good expression there. You used that very well. Most parents are working parents. And then just one small little pronunciation thing, Jason. So you said, I'm pretty sure you said most parents can't afford it, but I don't think you pronounced the T at the end of can't. So it sounded more like you said most parents can afford it. So I think you meant can't, right? Is that right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So just you got to be a little bit careful with the pronunciation and make sure that you hit that.
Yeah.
T,
Thanks, John.
T at the end of can't. Yeah, that's very important.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Okay, thanks, Jason. All right, cool. So let's thank you. Okay, cool. So let's see if we've got another student. I'll try a student who I don't think I've heard from yet. That's number 4. Hello.
Todd.
Hi,
Hi, Joe.
What's your name? Yep.
Hi, Todd. Can you hear me?
Todd. T-O-D-D, is it? Todd.
Yeah, Todd. Yeah, Todd.
Cool. Okay, fantastic. Okay, Todd, nice to talk to you. So let's see. So same topic for you, Todd. Also questions about family life. So Todd, what do you think are some of the most important qualities that parents need to have?
Firstly, they should have patience for their children. You know, the kids usually very noisy, so parents should have more patience for their children. And secondly, they should support their children's interest for doing something like singing or dancing. Yes, this is my answer.
And in most families, who do you think is more patient? Is it usually the mother or the father who's more patient generally?
In China, I think their mothers usually are most patient. You know, fathers are more spend a lot of time on their work and watching football games. So their mothers have more patience.
And how can parents learn more about parenting?
It's really difficult. You know, every parent is their first time to be parents, so nobody told them how to teach their children, so they need to do it by themselves.
So is there no way that they can learn about parenting? There's nothing they can do?
Yeah, by now they can buy some course on the internet to, you know, some very popular teachers can teach them on the internet, and they can also buy some books about how to teach their children.
Okay, thanks, Todd. All right, good job. Okay, so just at the end there, there was also a little bit of a problem with the connection, so I couldn't hear very much of your last answer. But the previous answers were pretty good. It's just that you need to give a little bit more information. So, like, for example, the question about how can parents learn more about parenting, you kind of said that it's very hard, and that was it. You know, you didn't really give any more information. So the question wasn't like, is it easy for them to learn about it, or is it hard for them to learn about it? The question was more like, how can they do it? So you'd have to give some like specific examples of how they can do it. And then when I asked you the follow-up question, you did give some examples, like you said, they can read books, or they can do online courses, or that. So that was good. But you should have given that answer to the first question, which is how can they learn more about parenting? So overall, your answers were pretty good though, because you had a lot of decent sentences. So
a little short.
Maybe a little short, but at least you were controlling your grammar pretty well in your sentences. You were producing some good, simple sentences, but very clear sentences that maybe a lot of students wouldn't be able to produce. So you were producing some good, clear sentences that were easy to understand and everything. So overall, pretty good answers to those questions. Overall, but I think, yeah, you'd be better off if you could give a little bit more information, especially in part 3, in part 3, the answers should be a little bit longer than in part 1. So you'd be better if you could keep talking for a little bit longer in part 3. Generally, kind of keep talking until you see the examiner is ready to ask you the next question. So sometimes you'll notice the examiner is going to be like ready to ask the next question, and then you can stop. Or sometimes the examiner will say thank you, and then you can stop. So I'd say when you're practicing English, practice talking for a little bit longer and try and go on a little bit longer.
Okay.
That'll make your answers better. Okay, thanks, Todd. Good job. Cool.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. So we've got 5 people now. Let's move on to the other topic. So the other topic is all about prizes in general. So the part 2 was a time when you won a prize. So these questions are all about prizes and winning prizes in general. So I'm going to go with Alina to begin.
Hi, John.
Hello again, Alina. Okay, so Alina, some questions for you about prizes. So do teachers in your country commonly give students prizes?
Yes, I would like to say teachers in my country like to give students prizes, no matter small or big prizes. And I believe it's a way for teachers to reward their children. And the feeling that the children get, when the children get the prizes, that they feel, the feeling when they get the prizes are very excited. No matter they got just a kind of stuff like stickers or a balloon, or big prizes like a trophy, and children feel very happy. Children feel very happy about having that.
Okay, so so generally then you think it's a good idea to give children prizes for their performances in their study or in sports or things like that?
Yeah, of course. I think it's an encouragement for children to make great progress in their other stages of life, and especially when they doing something right, when they made a progress, we should reward them.
What about when children do some kind of sports competition? Do you think that all the children who participate in the competition should get a prize just for participating, or do you think that only the winners should get prizes?
I would like to say, in my opinion, can you hear me?
Go ahead.
In my opinion, I think in the sports competition, only those who win the competition can get the prize. If we prepare the prizes for everybody, then it has no meaning to hold such kind of competition. We hold such kind of competition means we want to make a better choice of those who are really good at sports, and maybe we can choose them into the sports team.
Yeah, I understand. But what about the children who try really hard, but they're just not as good as the other children? If they don't get a prize, maybe they'll feel very sad. Is that not a bad thing?
I think unlike other aspects of our daily life, sports is kind of different thing. Sports means only. I think only somebody with special talent can play sports and to win prizes. I mean, everyone can play sports, but only those with special talent who can win the prizes, and especially for the city, for the province, and for the country.
Thank you. Okay, thanks, Alina. Very good.
Thank you.
Good answers again. All right, so a lot of good things in your answers, a lot of good expressions, and pretty logical answers to all those questions as well. And you kept going, you talked for enough time, you gave enough detail in your answers. So well done, very good. And I want to highlight a couple of the good things that you said. So one thing, you're talking about prizes. You said a prize. You're talking about a prize. You said it's an encouragement. It's an encouragement for children. That was very good. well done. It's an encouragement for children. And then you were talking about sports. You said children with special talent. Those with special talent. There you go. Special talent, a good qualification again. And there's just maybe one thing, one thing that I would correct in your answer. So in one of the questions, the question was, do you think that all the children who participate in a competition should win a prize, or do you think it should be just the winners should win prizes? And your answer was good, but just only those who win the competition can get the prize. The problem there, Alina, the problem with that sentence was the word can. The word can. Do you have any idea why that's a problem? Why you shouldn't have used the word can there? So
I'm not sure.
Maybe you don't know.
Sorry.
Okay, no problem. All right. The problem is that because the question was should, and when the question is should, it's all about your opinion. Your opinion. So when you're saying, so it's not about whether they can or cannot. So can or cannot, that's like the possibility. It's like 有没有这个可能性？很明显有那个可能性。如果组织那个比赛的人想给所有参加比赛的人一个奖品就可以。So it can, that can happen. It's not a question of whether it can happen or it can't happen. That's not the question. The question is whether it should happen or it shouldn't happen. 所以在你看来，你觉得所有参加比赛的孩子都应该得奖？你是不是那样觉得？ So it's like your opinion. So your opinion is not can or can't. Your opinion is should or shouldn't. I'm not sure if I'm explaining that clearly, or you can kind of get the difference there.
So I should use should or shouldn't replace can or can't.
Exactly. Yeah, because the question was should, and should children get prizes, or should all children who participate get prizes or not? Because actually they can. You know, they can do it. It's not. It's very possible. You just have to buy prizes for every child, and they'll all get prizes. But that's not the question. The question is should. They can like should. Okay. So that was the only thing.
Okay, I got it.
Okay. Thanks, Alina. Good job. Okay. You're welcome. Okay. Okay. So we've got 4 students left waiting. So I'm just going to quickly. I'm going to do this really quickly. I'm going to ask every student 2 questions, and then I'll just give them one piece of advice after they've answered the questions. So I'm going to start with Ryan.
Hey, John.
Hello, Ryan. Cool. Okay. Okay, Ryan. So we're almost out of time. So I'll just do 2 quick questions for you. Okay. So Ryan, what kinds of things do you think that adults should be rewarded for?
Well, I would think those adults should be responsible for those things. Generally speaking, though, like how to like they need to take risk.
Let's try. Sorry, Ryan. Let's try the question again. So remember, these questions, they're all about prizes, about winning prizes and winning things, winning competitions and winning prizes. So again, what kinds of things should adults get rewards for, or be rewarded for?
Okay, I understand. I think the adults should be rewarded during certain kind of situations. For example, if they help the others in danger, like some children swelling in the river, and if they help the others regardless of their life, their incoming hazard, they should be rewarded with a huge amount of money. Apart from that,
Okay. Thanks, Ryan. One more question.
Okay.
Do you think some people focus too much of their attention on winning prizes?
I think so, because because in this world it's kind of materialistic, and those people are more focused on those winning prizes. They chase for the prizes, and they set a goal for the prizes so that they can make more efforts in order to attain their goals. So I completely agree with this kind of opinion. Yeah.
Good. Okay. Good job. Okay. Thanks, Ryan. So good sentence there to finish. I completely agree with. I completely agree with this kind of opinion. That was good. Let's see. So obviously you didn't understand the first question. So in that situation, Ryan, if you really don't understand, it's better to just ask the examiner to repeat the question or ask.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't quite understand that. It's better to just admit it because otherwise you're going to have trouble.
Exactly.
Let's see. So you used a good expression in your first answer. You said, if they help others in danger. Very good. To help people in danger. That was good. I'm going to write that for everybody. And then in your second question, so this wasn't quite right. You said, if they chase for the prizes. If they chase for the prizes. So there's one word there that shouldn't be there. Do you know what word it is?
Yeah, I know.
So it shouldn't be chase for the prize. It should be just chase prizes. Chase prizes.
Chase
prizes. Yeah, exactly. So not chase for the prizes, but chase prizes. Okay. Thanks. Thanks, Ryan. We'll go next to Ruby. So 2 quick questions for Ruby.
Hello, John.
Hi again, Ruby. Okay, so Ruby, in your country, do teachers commonly give students prizes?
Not much. I mean, if some people or some students really do well in their text or exam, well, since like they got the higher score in the whole class or the whole school, the teacher will always give some prize, maybe some food or some other very tiny things. I mean, at that time, student don't look for very expensive reward for them, but also some maybe the verbal prize of their teacher will always encourage them. And also some students, maybe they are.
Do you generally think it's a good idea for teachers to give students prizes for their performance in their studies or in sports?
I guess so. I mean, those students who behave very well in like study or sports, it also shows showed a talent in those ability. And if if their teacher encourage them for the prize or some thing they have got, the student may be more motivated and enthusiastic about their following study or maybe their career in the future. And it also just form them just let them know if we do very well in our study or sports behavior, we will get rewarded at this time. Okay.
Thank you, Ruby. Okay, well done. You kept going very well again there, and so good fluency in your answers. So let's see, just a couple of, let's just say one pointer. So this one sentence you said, if they showed a talent in their ability, so you can't show a talent in an ability. You could show a talent in. Good. Show if they show a talent in doing something, that would be good. Or you could say also if they show a talent in a skill. They show talent in a skill.
Okay.
Or what you just said there, show a talent in doing something would be good as well. Okay. Thanks, Ruby. I'm going to go on to quick questions now for Lydia.
Hi.
Hi, Lydia again. So Lydia, what kinds of things should adults get rewards for?
From my point of view, firstly, if you
if they have attend the goal of his work, he should be rewarded. For example, if you know there are many sailors in our society, in many societies, or no, in many companies, and if they could reach the standard their boss set for them, they could get award, and usually it's some money. Secondly, I think some people who have do something really important for the development of our society, for the development of our country's development.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Do you think some people focus too much of their energy on winning prizes?
In fact, in China, I think so, because I have to say, Chinese people are always very how to say that, they like competitions. They want to do everything better. So in those competitions, they are always trying their best to get the prize. And from a point of view, although sometimes they are really tired from it, but I have to say that's good for the development of our society. That's all.
Okay. Thanks, Lydia. Okay, so let's see, just one thing about the last sentence you said there. So you said that's good for the development of our society. So that sentence doesn't really work so much in English. In English, we don't really consider a society as something that develops. I know this is very strange coming from Chinese, because in Chinese, we hear it 10 times every day. But in English, we almost never say it. We almost never say the development of society. So I think
the progress of the society.
So in Chinese, maybe, okay, yeah, maybe the progress of society, or we might just say it's good for the world, or it's good for the world in general. So a lot of times when a Chinese person would say, 那个对社会发展很有帮助, or something like that, we might say it's very helpful for the progress of the world, or it's very helpful for the world in general. Or if you're talking about a particular country, you could say it's very helpful for the country, or it's very helpful for the country in general. But if you're just talking about people all around the world, then it's very good for the world, or it's very good for the world in general, or helpful, or whatever. Okay, that would be better.
Okay, thanks.
Just a little pronunciation problem in your first answer. And so you said just this one. So this is a very good word. It was a good word, but your pronunciation wasn't quite right of the word.
Attained a goal.
Yeah, that's a little bit better. So attained. They attained a goal.
Attained.
So what you said was attend. What you said was attend. So it should be attained. So the second last sound is longer. Attained. They attained a goal.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Yep, you're welcome. Okay, thanks, Lydia. Okay, and finally, we're going to Julia. Sorry, I know there's two more people who've come now, but I already said that these are our last four when there was four. So Julia is going to be our last one for today. Sorry to the other two guys who are waiting. So Julia, let's go back to because we've already spent a lot of time on this topic, prizes. So let's go back to the topic of family life, and I'll ask you two questions.
Yes.
So, Julia, what are some of the most important qualities parents need to have?
I guess the most important quality that parents should have is to be patient. Sometimes small children, especially the toddlers or small children, they hardly know what they should do and what they shouldn't do, and sometimes they might misbehave and especially and even in public. So if the parents are impatient, they would spank their children or just hit their children. That's too bad. That's not a good role model for their children.
Anything else other than patience? Anything else?
Other than patience, I guess it would be like to add a responsibility. Parents should be responsible for any behaviors of their children. They should educate their children. So yes, I guess patience and responsibility.
How can parents learn more about parenting?
They can get this information online or from some books, and also they can get this kind of knowledge from their parents. But from old people, the parenting knowledge may be outdated and it may be risky because especially in China or perhaps in Asia, old generations, they believe it is a must to hit their children, but but nowadays it has been proved that it's a bad behavior for parenting. So I guess perhaps
Thank you. Okay, well done, very good, very thorough answers to those questions. Great job. So let's see, the first one. So it was a good answer. It's just you probably should have moved on to another example before I prompted you, before I got to do it. So yeah, so remember it was what are some of the most important qualities parents can have. So it means you've got to talk about more than one, and that would have been better. But still, you talked about patience and you gave a very thorough explanation of why patience is important. So that was good. You also used some very good vocabulary. So you said they might, so you're talking about children, you said they might misbehave. Very good. Misbehave. So to misbehave is just to behave badly, but it's a good word. It's a good word that native speakers use a lot. Another good word you used was spank. Spank their children. So for anybody who doesn't know, spank is like to hit somebody kind of like this, and it's usually in the bottom. And it's usually, so if you spank a child, it's usually you're hitting them like this, and you're hitting them in the bottom. So it's probably a better word even than hit their children. Although hit your children, that collocation is okay as well. That makes sense as well. Native speakers would say that as well. But spank is a little bit more kind of detailed, and it's probably a better collocation because hit can be anything. Hit could be like this, you know. It could be any kind of physical movement of the hand to injure somebody. Whereas spank is a more appropriate description of the way that parents would usually hit their children. So that was a good collocation as well. Some good vocabulary there, Julia. Another one, you said their parenting knowledge may be outdated. Very good, outdated knowledge. That was great. Okay, and just let's see one little correction. So you said parents should to have. Parents should to have.
Should have.
Exactly. Yeah. Not to. Yeah. Parents should have. Okay. Great job, Juliet. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. Okay. 今天的课就马上结束。我觉得还有2个人在等，但是时间就到了，所以不会是你们下次来，下一次礼拜4还会有机会。所以今天的课还有2件事情要提醒大家。第一个就是小组课，所以我们每个礼拜2、礼拜3、礼拜4、礼拜5、礼拜6都提供小组课，最多4个学生，我们的课都订满到10月27号，所以如果你12月份或者11月底打算考雅思的话，欢迎你来那个小组雅思口语课。还有就是我之前提到的那个我们 Learn with John 就是上个礼拜发布的考官约翰雅思口语 Part 2画本，在那个你可以听我回答所有9月份举办的雅思 Part 2话题。Okay, thanks guys. Thanks for coming along today, and we'll be back again on Thursday, same time, Beijing time, 7 o'clock. See you guys on Thursday. Bye bye.